This is your PowerPoint on poem quotation and other issues from Dr. Williams. Here we go. First of all, I've been saying in your comments, and some of you probably didn't see that on time before you answered last week's question, so I'll just remind you. Almost all poem titles are written with all important words capitalized and in quotation marks. So one of the poems we were talking about this last week has been To the Virgins to Make Much of Time. Most of the words are capitalized. Then there's one by Robert Burns that we haven't read yet called My Love is Like a Red, Red Rose. Please do not put them in italics. The other thing I don't want you to do, please, is to italicize and put in quotation marks. Titles are either one or the other. Okay, short poetry quotations, as it says here, from 1 to 3 lines, it's a short quotation. It gets blended into the other comments that you are already making in your writing. The final punctuation goes after the citation parentheses. So, on the left-hand side, you see the narrator says, quote, Mary had a little lamb, comma, slash, whose fleece was white as snow, close quotations. I put bunny rabbit in the parentheses just because that's my imagined name for the author. Space, lines 1 through 2. Period after the parentheses. A 3-line quotation is still a short poetry quotation. I care not for these ladies, / that must be wooed and prayed, / give me kind Amaryllis. And this is by a guy named Thomas Campion, so I put Campion's name, lines 1 through 3, close the parentheses, period. Underneath that is this very small single-line quotation from Spenser. There is continual spring and harvest there, close quotations. There are no line numbers in this poem, so I had to put a stanza number. Stanzas are how poems are generally divided. They are not divided into paragraphs. So I put parentheses, Spenser, stanza 42, then I close the parentheses, and then I would put the period. So that is 1, 2, or 3 lines short poem quotations. Long poetry quotations, like long prose quotations, have to be 4+ lines margin to margin. When you hit the 5th word wrap, you need to get a clue there. Actually, the 4th word wrap even, you need to get a clue. It's time to start reformatting here. These are also called block quotations. So, I introduce with a sentence. The fairy queen uses names of great gods and goddesses as pseudonyms, colon or period. Left margin aligned, you double tab. And then you give the 4 lines, it's 5 lines here, as I have done. And if it ends with a period, you would put a period. If there were a question mark, you would put the question mark before the parentheses, and that's right here. Because this is not the end of the line of poetry, and because it does not end with a period, then I put 3 dots, which are called ellipses. And then I put the information, Spenser, stanza 46. And again, this serves as the end punctuation, so you don't need to repeat it here. Please notice you do not need quotation marks at the beginning and at the end. That is because there's all this extra space right here, and this is lined up, and it becomes obvious that this is a block of text that you have quoted exactly. The last note I give you down here is this retains the original spelling and punctuation. You may have to fight with your computer program just a little bit about that. Don't change anything if you can possibly avoid it, and we can talk later if you want me to send you information on how to change things in quotations and do it legally. Y'all have a really good evening, and I'll talk to you later.